There was a loop I was stuck in for many years without understanding why. The less money I had, the harder it became to think about bigger things. The busier I was, the less time I had to escape the busyness. It felt like running on a treadmill. The speed kept increasing, but my position stayed exactly the same. Back then, I thought it was because I was not good enough. I thought I was lazy. I thought I lacked discipline. Only much later did I understand that it was not my fault. It was simply the way the human brain works when it has lacked something for too long. When we lack something, whether it is money, time, or emotional connection, our brain begins to be occupied by that missing thing. Not because we are weak, not because we have no willpower, but because this is an automatic mechanism of the brain. It pushes the thing we lack to the very front, like a spotlight shining directly at the empty space, while everything around it becomes dark. A hungry person sees food everywhere. A person who is short on money sees prices everywhere. A lonely person sees happy couples everywhere. Not because they are trying to pay attention to those things, but because their brain almost has no other choice. I remember when I first started working. After paying rent and fixed bills, there was almost nothing left in my account. One time, a coworker invited me to go out for dinner after work. It sounded like a simple invitation, but that one invitation pulled my entire mind away from work for the whole afternoon. Would the restaurant be expensive? Should I say no? If I said no, would people think I was strange? If I went, how would I manage the rest of the week? By the time I sat down at the table, I looked at the menu but could not enjoy anything, because my mind was still calculating. It was not really eating. The person sitting next to me probably took 10 seconds to choose a dish. I spent the whole evening inside my own head. That weight, the thing that sits in your mind and takes up space that could have been used for other thoughts, does not only make you tired, it can actually make you function worse. Not as a metaphor, literally. There was a study on farmers showing that after harvest season, when they had money in hand, they performed significantly better on cognitive tests than before the harvest, when they were experiencing scarcity. And this was the same person. They were not suddenly smarter. They were not suddenly less intelligent before the harvest. It was simply that when a person lacks something, part of the brain is occupied by worrying about that thing, and the part left for everything else becomes smaller. Have you ever noticed that you can procrastinate for a long time, but suddenly work very fast right before a deadline? That is not random. Scarcity of time creates an almost automatic state of focus. It pushes everything unnecessary out of the way and keeps only the most urgent thing in front of you. That is why some people, right before an important exam, can somehow fit a huge amount of knowledge into their mind. That is why someone who is close to a project deadline may suddenly have ideas appear out of nowhere. Scarcity does have a useful side. It helps us focus on the most important thing in that exact moment, but the price we pay is not small. When we only see what is urgent right in front of us, we begin to ignore things that are not urgent but are far more important in the long term. A firefighter in an emergency may be able to plan very quickly and handle the scene very well, but still forget to fasten a safety belt, something that seems small but could decide life or death. When we are crushed by deadlines, we do something similar. We skip exercise, we skip proper meals, we skip calling our family. We skip learning the new skill that might actually help us escape the cycle of busyness faster. I will be honest, there was a period when I became obsessed with researching a new phone for months. Not because I truly needed a new phone immediately, but because my old phone had started to slow down, and that feeling of lack was enough to pull me into dozens of forums, hundreds of comparison videos, and hours of reading reviews about different models. In the end, I did not buy any phone because I still did not have enough money. But I also did not do anything truly meaningful during those months because my mind kept being pulled away. The time I spent researching that phone, if I had used it to learn a new skill, I might have made real progress already. This is something I think many people do not realize, including the old version of me. When we say we do not have time, or we do not have energy to do the important things, the real question is not only, where did the time go? The deeper question is, where is my mind being pulled? Comparing prices across different websites, waiting for a discount, wondering whether to buy something or not, opening 10 tabs and not resolving any of them, scrolling to the bottom of social media and no longer remembering why we opened it in the first place. All of these things take up space in the mind, even though we do not call them work. My point of view is this: the scarcity trap is dangerous precisely because it is invisible. No one sees that we are wasting our thinking capacity on tiny decisions. We only see that we are tired. We only see that we cannot do the bigger things, and then we think it is because we are not capable enough. But that is not true. It is because our mind is overloaded with dozens of small things, and there is no longer enough space for the things that truly require deep thought. The way out is not simply to try harder. It is not to become more disciplined by forcing ourselves even more. The way out is to create space, to intentionally leave a little room in our schedule, in our finances, and in our energy, instead of filling every empty space. It is also about reducing the things that are occupying our mind: shopping notifications, constant price comparisons, small decisions that do not truly matter, and content that keeps making us feel as if we are missing something. When the mind becomes lighter, we may be surprised to see that we can suddenly think about things we used to believe we were not capable of thinking about. It is not that we are not good enough. It is not that we are lazy. It is not that we lack discipline. Our mind has simply been overloaded by things that do not deserve that much space. And sometimes, healing begins when we stop blaming ourselves for being unable to move forward and start asking, what has been taking up all the space inside me?